Hello, guys, and welcome to episode 6. I forgot it was episode 6 at the start of the last one. I probably said episode 4. It wasn't. It was 5. Anyway, hello. Yeah. Congratulations to the winner of the giveaway of the last episode. If that has been drawn already, I don't know. I'm recording this one directly afterwards, so yeah.
I don't know what the fuck's gone on. So there you go.
Spoiler for a week for us, last week for people watching. There was a giveaway. That's like Inception, isn't it? Anyway, so he's already.
Yeah, well done to you, whoever you are.
Yeah. Bring them now; they're here. No. So, Mr. Guest, welcome. Who are you? What is your Twitter name? Who are you? Who are you?
So so I'm 80. So a full name if you want it, 80 Iliff, which is a really shit last name, and everybody gets it wrong and doesn't know how to spell it or say it. I blame my father or a dick. I'm from AIDS for a shirt hunt, so yeah, hard to say what I do on there, to be honest. I just do my own stuff. I think I'm the other one half of Shirt X as well, which is probably far more popular than my account. So all we do on Shirt X is probably connect people, connect collectors to buy, sell, swap, and get to learn a little bit more about each other. Something that you're doing as well, mate. So it's top work, yeah.
I have a question. Who is in charge of Shirt X? Because it seems like every week there is someone else. It's like, oh, hey, it's me from Shirt X. And I was like, it's like the fucking Expendables.
So there's only two of us. So there's only me and Mike, me and Footy Shirts that run it. So One day you might get me running it, and you might get Mike popping on it. It all depends, to be honest. Who's got the app open at that point in time is looking at the inbox. You'll probably be able to tell from language that's used that if it's a load of dudes in there, and that's probably me, and this other stuff is probably Mike giving you grief about stuff. So yeah,
if it's well written using the Queen,
we try run it with a bit of fun and try get people to interact with us. To be honest, it's sometimes harder than it looks, but it's going okay.
Good, glad to hear. So I'm sure people will be on tenterhooks if they're listening and also if they're watching. What you're wearing, and also a question for Shirt Union, which I'm now just going to force in shoehorn, even if they like it or not. What are you drinking?
What am I drinking?
Yeah, in my episode with Toby from the Shirtman, halfway through it, I was just started gulping a carton of orange juice.
Yeah, I did see that.
No one mentioned it, and then they tweeted about it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to shoehorn this question in. So if you have
drink wise, it's just boring, mate. Council pot water.
Hey, it keeps it. It's high quality H2O.
Yeah, Waterboy films. Yeah, I love that film. Let's not digress though. Shirt wise, Coventry City, right? So this is a 91-92 shirt. To be honest, it's something that I was after for a long period of time, and thankfully managed to get it during lockdown. I won't talk about it too much because I think some of the questions you'll probably press me about, I can probably answer it in there. But it's probably the one shirt that I remember when I was a kid. It's probably one of the first memories, because I was in 6, that I wanted to probably get and saw it about. And I was just far too young to probably get it, really, and appreciate it. I think the secondary shirt I ended up getting, I ended up forcing my old man to buy me another shirt. And I think that was when I was 7. And that was like the famous red and white bird shit shirt, should we say. So I think I tried to get it down from the attic, because it's obviously in the attic. It's the one I squeezed into a couple of weeks ago, and I had it on my profile somewhere. And I don't know how I managed to do it, but I got it on right. It was fucking so tight. It was unbelievable. Nearly gave me a hernia.
It's not the getting on which is the issue. It's getting it off then.
I've even got the shorts. I might get my lad to wear it, to be honest, at some point and hand it down, because I think I've got that many Cov shirts that I've probably had from my time when I was about his age, so I'm like 6 upwards, and then they just got wrecked. Let's face facts, when we were that age, just wrecked them and didn't appreciate them for what they were. And now when you want the shirts back, frigging nightmare to try track them down, i.e. this one, which it has a nice story to it, so we can come on to that. And it's pretty cool the way I got this. So
I do like that shirt a lot. It's very nice. If anyone's curious, the one I'm wearing is the 2018-19. Yes, Bayern Munich away shirt in like a mint blue green. No nice story behind this. I was training for work in London, and I had a Sunday off at the start of March, and we were staying just near Wembley. So I knew there was a little shopping centre there with an Adidas and a Nike outlet. So I went there, I picked up this shirt for 20 quid, and I got the same year Atletico Madrid home shirt for £20 as well. I did walk away.
That's a banging shirt though, absolute banger.
It
And
is.
it's one that again I've got in my collection clearly, but you'll probably know why. So
Yeah, a little soft spot, should we say?
yeah.
So I was going to actually save this until later, but I'll ask it now because you kind of alluded to it there in terms of passing the shirt down to your child. What is the end game for your collection? Do you have like a goal for it, or any idea? Do you want to pass them down, or is it
So
just...
yeah, ideally, I suppose the majority of my shirts, and it comes on sort of collection questions and what my collection is. I suppose I tend to collect COV shirts. I've got a soft spot, as we said, for Bayern, so Bayern and then England really, but that's the Umbro era and like the tailored era really is the big one for me. Everything else that I tried to collect, it's one of those. It depends what takes my fancy, but there's things that try to stick out in my mind. And I suppose coming up to the collection point of view and trying to talk through that, we can go on that. I suppose end game for me is trying to get everything, I suppose, from a Bayern perspective from 92 to present, which I'm probably 10 to 12 shirts at the moment away from that, which is, and some of them are bugbear, right? Because some of them are really hard to get hold of. It annoys me even further when I speak to Mike. Mike's got 2 of some shirts, and yeah, it's like, oh, look at this, I did. I love speaking to Mike about buying stuff, and we do that quite often. We bounce off stuff about it and look for stuff and try to help each other out. I tend to help him out more than me, and he'll probably go, have a little bit of a moan about that. But his sizes are far more easier to find because people don't want them. Let's face facts.
I was
I
going
can
to say
fit into them, but not as well as he does. So it's, yeah. If I find stuff, he's like, "What size is that?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's already eyeing it up. I bought a shirt not so long ago, and he already had it on his watch list as well. So it's like, "Oh, I bought this." He's like, "That was £32." So it's like, "How do you know that?" He's like, "Yeah, I was watching it." I was like, it's like, "Mate, you're stalking my shirts as well." I was like, so there's 2 or 3 of us that are looking for the same shirts and the same size, and it's a real bugbear of mine. Sometimes that I'm trying to look for something, thinking, is somebody else looking for this moment in time that's going to be literally bidding against me? And I'll probably lost stuff through that, right? But yeah, digress quite heavily there. I suppose in terms of the end game, yeah, I suppose is trying to get stuff like that. The COV shirts a little bit different on COV, right? Because we had a period when we had such shit shirts, and I hated them. And as a fan, I couldn't bring myself to buy them, and I didn't, and I still won't buy them because I didn't like them. And it was a period, I suppose, we fell from grace from the Premiership, and I say fell from grace. We're probably there beyond that means anyway. Let's face facts. We fell into the Championships and did crap there, and then we had the likes of Nike templates, Puma templates, and they were just garbage. They're just off the shelf churny shit that you could wear playing the Sunday League with just a COV badge on it. And it's pretty bad as a fan to say I didn't want them, and I still don't want them. But at the same time, I was like, they didn't bring me any joy to look at them or want to wear them or to buy them. So why would I? And it's all the stuff that I wrecked in my childhood that I want to get back. So I've got some of them. Some of them don't fit, but some of them I really want back. And it's taken me like 18 months to track down one shirt in my size. But that's part of it, I suppose. You've got to try and play that part and go, this is what I really want, so therefore I'm going to go out and get it. And it's probably more expensive than I pay for it, but hey, it's something I looked for 18 months before I got it. So
yeah, I was going to say with Mike, his sizing does play a big part because like he'll put up a shirt and be like, "How on earth did you find that?" It's like, yeah, it's a large boys. I can just squeeze into it because how the sizing in the 90s are. It's like,
so I'm the same, right? So in some stuff like the Adidas stuff, like the 176s, which are the extra large boys and the extra large youths, I can fit into, and it just depends on years. I've got an extra large youths in something that's like a Germany shirt, and it's a Germany like a 2008 shirt, I think, and it's skin tight, and I was like, what the fuck? Put it on, I was like, oh my god, I can't. Yeah, I've got a Bayern shirt from the same era that I can put on. It's like this. It's baggy armed, it's baggy across chest. I'm like, yeah, perfect. And it makes no correlation. I think we spoke about it a couple of days ago anyway in sort of DMs about stuff like this. And sort of went, how is it that era on era we get this different sort of shirts? It's definitely the same manufacturer, different sizes, even though it's crazy. It is crazy.
I might try and squeeze into some larger and extra large boys from the 90s. Oh, shirts. Okay.
I can't. I can one. Yeah, one that. Two, you're able to do it right because you're a smaller build than me. So you're probably you're taller than me, but you're not as wide as I am. If I can fit into them, geez, you must. I'm
Yeah,
just short and stumpy.
I never knew this, so I've never put that away. I didn't know this, so I never tried. But now I know that there's a potential whole other market of shirts I can get, which is weird because I can now squeeze in anything between a large and an extra large boys, which is pretty great. My spectrum there for anything is wild. But like I say, I can't remember if I said this to you in DMs, but anything pre 2000, I go for a large because I like the baggy fit. I like it on the big.
Yeah.
I like big sleeves. And you say people watching your collection and stuff. I won the 97 away City shirt, the Kappa one. I got it in long sleeves as well. So Kappa trimmed on the sleeves, white with a blue and burgundy stripe across the top. And I tweeted saying, I've just won my Holy Grail shirt on eBay. And someone just responded saying the exact same thing. He was like, yeah, I was watching it. And I was like, how many other people were watching it? I was like, hang on, I outbid you because there was a bit of a bidding war in the last 2 minutes and stuff.
It's weird. Stuff like that. It's just crazy though because you've got so many of us that speak to each other that don't actually speak about which shirts we're looking at, and I'll look at my eBay or Depop, wherever it's going to be, and there's hundreds of shirts on watch at any point, and I'm sure there's stuff that people have snapped up from each other, and you're like, and I'm sure recently somebody's done that to me, and something I was watching, I'm literally heartbroken about it now, and I know you're going to ask the question later on, so I'm going to leave that, but still heartbroken at least about 2 or 3 shirts where it's happened. I'm just like, I really wanted that shirt, and I've missed it because I was pissing about doing something, and it sounds bad, pissing about doing something with the kids. This shirt was more important than the kids at that point, so.
Okay. Will we dwell on this much longer? Will the missus watch? Who knows? No, there was a Manchester City 92 away shirt, so a burgundy brother one with Umbro, and it was one of my Holy Grail shirts. I have a home version score draw one because I've not been able to find one. And my friend introduced me to a website called 97th Vintage, which they just uploaded a load of stuff at 12 o'clock every day. Very rarely get football shirts, but when they do, they're great, and they are also undervalued for what they are. So it was listed for £80. I was like, that can't be real, because I'm so used to the classic football shirts pricing bracket, which I understand why they priced that. I spoke about that before, but so I tweeted a picture of it and cropped out what the website was and everything. And I was like, yeah, so is this real? And I can't remember who, but someone responded to me saying, yeah, I've just gone on the website and seen it.
I remember you tweeting about it as well, to be honest. I remember the tweet going out and going, oh my God, and it's got the location and stuff like that, the street map or whatever you put on it. It's like
they were like, yeah, it's legit. And it's a good price as well. I was like, well, I'm going to fucking buy it before you decide to. I was like, hang on, that is a good price. I'm going to buy it before you. I'm very hesitant to share what shirts I'm after. I imagine you're probably the same.
Yeah, 100% right. So the only person I probably share stuff with in terms of that is probably going to be Mike. I think it's probably because we speak quite a lot because of shirt X stuff and just stuff in general. I'm not too far from you either because it's only Birmingham, I'm only sort of just outside Cov. Same with Mike. I think we chat quite a lot anyway through Shirt X, but generally because we've got this Bayern affiliation that we'll speak to each other about stuff like that, and we'll end up slapping stuff into our DMs through Insta about what we've seen and what we haven't seen, if there's something that we come across that you think the other person's going to like, because generally that's what we end up doing. We know we're a similar size, albeit he's slighter frame than me, but he'll get into better stuff than me, and he's got that many different contacts that he's, look what I'm looking at. I'm like, and it drives me crazy, but it impresses me at the same time. I was like, that's outstanding. Maybe just Malaysia. Yeah, okay. So you do that in Malaysia? Well, it's like I think I knew about his Wiz shirts before he'd posted them on Twitter, and he said, look, I've got these Wiz shirts. I was like, where have you got them from? Some dude in America's found me and bought it, and he's going to send it to me. I was like, okay, great. So his links are crazy, and some of the people he knows through football shirts it's outstanding, to be honest, and it's. I think I said we're the same sort of age, and I've gone, I aspire to be you when I grow up, Mike. It's like, so that's not possible. I was like, I know, but I do.
Mentally, anyway. No, I actually spoke about this with because I've just spoke to Kitsbeer for episode last week when you're watching this weekend for us. and he lives northwest, and he was like, I know there's a few other northwest based collectors. So I had the idea of, as soon as lockdown is over, I would like a northwest versus Midland football shirt collector, five-a-side or something.
Yeah.
Because
Sounds unreal. That does. That'd be good. That'd be a good laugh, to be honest.
yeah,
Just expect to kneecap people. You know, I've not played football for a little bit, but it's generally speaking, play rugby, collect football stuff, which never goes hand in hand, and people don't understand it. It's like, oh no, that doesn't add up. You collect football shirts, but you play with the oval balls. Yeah, it's a bit strange.
who knows? I mean, they're kind of interchangeable. Mike has an ungodly amount of shirts just from some of the pictures that he's put up. But this isn't about him; it's about you. How many shirts to date? How many shirts do you have, if you know off the top of your head, or just
off the top of my head? I've not done a count, to be honest, but I'm over 150. I would say I'm probably encroaching 160, 70, I guess, with what I've had come through the door in the last couple of, I say come through the door in the last couple of days. It's just waiting in a bag down here somewhere. So yeah, there's 4 shirts that are down here. Yeah, so yeah, if you're gonna do that,
then I was going to save this till later.
There's just a couple waiting there, and I've still got one displaying it. I honestly don't know what's in there. I could guess because I know what I ordered when I ordered them, but in terms of what I'd open there, I've got no idea. So I'd say probably 100 plus 150. It's the easiest way of saying it. But I had, until those, I had quite a hiatus. I think, I sort of went a month or two. I'm trying to do some renovations on the house. It's coming up to bloody Christmas. It's the lad's birthday before Christmas. I'm like, football shirts aren't the be all and end all of everything, and I need to get something sorted. But renovations are going to take place in the next couple of weeks. They've said, this is your cost. I'm like, I've got money spare, and I'm not telling the missus that, clearly. So it's I've got a few football shirts coming in. So I'll treat myself, I suppose, to those, and hopefully it's a few nice bits. But I suppose generally I'm one of those bargain hunters. I don't tend to go out and buy new shirts, and I look at things that are sort of 25 quid and under, and I generally strike lucky with stuff like that. I don't encroach above that unless it's something that's a grail shirt or something I really, really want that needs to be now, and that doesn't really happen too often, to be honest.
I think I need to employ that tactic myself, whereas I'm happy to so I'll get my pay and I'll get the bills sorted and added up, and I have a note on my phone with all the bills so I can work out how much you've got to pay, and then try and put some to one side, because I'm in the same boat as you. My partner's birthday is 2 weeks before Christmas, and at the moment, running up to Christmas, I've got a month of sick pay coming up, so that's gonna be a drop in the ocean. That is, so I need to definitely rely on my savings. So sorry, shirts, even though there is a grail shirt of mine on classic football shirts, but I'm not going to tell anyone what it is. If you follow my Twitter, you probably do know what it is. But so, do you have a favourite manufacturer?
I do, right, but I go through probably eras, to be honest. If I look at it from, I think people that know my collection, know who I'm into, or know Adidas features quite heavily through the buying stuff. The sort of Adidas equipment eras, they're just divine. You can't go wrong with that sort of stuff. So I think if you look back at sort of the retro stuff, the 80s and 90s stuff, it's still Adidas is going to still feature heavily regardless, right, all the way through to modern stuff, because buying features throughout my collection. I think other aspects of it, the Umbro features heavily. I love the Umbro tailor-made stuff, so it doesn't have to be England. I think there's great stuff that they've produced with other nations. One of them's down here somewhere as well in this bag. So, and I've been after that for a while. So they produce like bangers, and it's simple as that. If it's good, it's probably going to go in there. But I would say, generally speaking, the Adidas, Umbro tailor-made, and then modern shirts. I'm not really a massive modern shirt man, which might come as a surprise. I don't know. People might think, "Oh God, you don't collect modern shirts," but I just don't tend to go that way.
I'm the same.
Go on, you're the same.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan really at the moment. I think the only things that I like modern wise is because they've produced those three corkers for Cobb last year, and the amount of work they're doing with clubs is human, and they're outstanding anyway. So, I mean, I've got an affiliation to them anyway because they produced the City kits a long time ago and they've reproduced them based upon the old kit. So it's a throwback kit, which is a massive success. So, you know, I got 2 of the kits last season. I got home and away. I've got a goalkeeper shirt from last season for City. I didn't get the two-tone and people say it's the best kit. Personally, I understand the reasons behind it and I like the reasons behind it. The kit itself, I didn't like it. And that's going to go, a lot of the Cov fans probably disagree with me on that. A lot of people in general might disagree with me. It's just my take on it. I didn't like it that much. Do I regret not buying it? I think going on it will, because it'll be worth an extortionate amount of money, even though there's loads sold. But yeah, it's one of those, I've not got it. And I've not bought it the lads. And, you know, he's got both kits apart from. So yeah, Hummel. And the stuff that they're producing again this season, the Cov kits take on a throwback, so the home is, and you know that throws back to sort of the same sort of areas, the bird shit one, the blue and white one, where it's got the bottom half, which is good. But you can look at the other kits that they're producing at the moment. The Everton stuff's decent, you know, I prefer the Everton away, but the South End stuff's good. You know, you can look across and think they're producing some cracking stuff. It's just, I hope at some point they break the monopoly on the top lot in terms of Adidas, the Nikes, and produce something from a top 6 club. People are going mad now. Going over to be a top 6 club. Yeah, they might be at the end of the season, but they're not right now. Or they get, I don't know, a more prominent team internationally. Again, I know they've done the stuff, but I'd love to see them produce England stuff. I'd love you to take on England and see what they can do. Because practicality, you look at Nike and what they've done, it's drab, right? I hate the Nike stuff that they produce for England. Apart from the 150 anniversary stuff, I think I've got the away shirt in that. I like that so much. I got it twice, which was a bit daft, but it's one of those, I only had twice because I like it so much. But other than that, yeah, I just think the Nike stuff for England is shit. And I know people will disagree with that, and I know they'll say that this season's a completely different kettle of fish with the away. And I'm going to be honest, I despise the away kit for England, even more so when I saw it the other day on TV. I was like, that looks shit, and that's my view on it.
I think the best Nike away shirt England have had was for the Women's World Cup, and
yeah, so that rose one in the background, yeah,
it was lovely, but I didn't buy it. So modern shirts, I'm somewhat the same. Obviously, there's some. I say I don't buy them when I'm wearing one from 1819, but for me, it's kind of either got to be something special or a point of convenience. So if I'm in the shop and it's there and it's cheap, yeah, I might pick it up. But if I'm looking online, it's got to be something very, very special for me to buy it. So the France Women's World Cup away shirt, the white with the polka dots, I certainly picked that one up. But like, there's been all of Roma's shirts from last season, all of Inter's shirts from this season. I haven't picked them up. I will regret this in 10 years' time, 100%. I get a City shirt a season. Manchester City, I realise we're both going to be saying City, aren't we? I get one of them a season, at least if I like more than one, I'll get the second one. But other than
that's acceptable, right? To buy modern shirt of a team you support, I get. Right?
Yeah.
To buy modern shirts of somebody you don't support but you like it, I'm a bit strange on that because I've got a niche. I suppose it's not a niche collection, but I pretend to collect the stuff I've said. Yeah, there's loads of stuff in between that because clearly I haven't got 170 odd shirts that just carve and buy in England because that's of those eras and what I'm looking for, because there's not that many to collect. So I've got loads of other stuff. Some of them are modern because they've been nice, and again, like you've said, they've been cheaply convenient. But I suppose modern, when I look at it, is modern to me is going to still be anything that's more or less 2000. You know, that's still modern to me because it's not an 80s shirt. That goes back to when I was a kid, when I was born. So that's historical. That's something that's a little bit different, and it's those legacy shirts that are great. Whereas these modern shirts and modern takes on shirts, I don't know. Sometimes I don't get the hype around them, and I'm just, it's another shirt. Yeah, I get it. I wouldn't go out and spend 70 quid on it. Not when I can get a whole host of other shirts I've been looking for. Whereas one shirt could cost you 70 quid, I could probably get 5 or 6 maybe of the areas that I look for, and go, well, it depends what you're looking for in your collection, really.
And although I've never been to a foreign game, if I ever do, I will 100% be picking up a shirt because a little memento to take away from going to a European game. Hell yeah! I did try and get a a Frankfurt shirt with Kevin Trapp on the back, but you can't get a goalkeeper shirt. And I looked, I couldn't find one. He's just a very handsome man, but I couldn't
Tell
find.
you what, you keep mentioning this. I'm sure you mentioned it in another one of your guys. You've got this obsession with Kevin Trapp, haven't you, mate?
It started over lockdown because he shaved his head, and I was like, "Oh, hello." No, he, yeah, I mentioned it with Toby because he said that Giroud was better looking, and I got my back up a little bit, to be honest. But no, I mean, I genuinely like him. I think he's not an amazing keeper, but I don't know. He seems like a lovely guy, and he's lovely to look at. Anyway,
I would say going to a foreign game, I mean, picking up a shirt is a necessity, right? I've been to a couple in Germany, and they're always great. The thing is, I've been to Germany and not going to a Bayern game as stupid as it sounds, because I've never been in that area when they're playing. It sounds daft. I've been to Dusseldorf a couple of times, and I've watched Dusseldorf play, and it's ridiculous to say their stadium's absolutely huge. And I think when I went, it's still like a 40,000 seat stadium. And the time when I went to watch them, they're near the bottom of the league, and it was nearly packed. And I was behind the goal with the ultras, and it was insane, absolutely insane. It's nothing like an English Premier League game or anything below that. You go to a German game in the Bundesliga, and it's absolutely crazy. And there was a group of lads there, and we dressed up in the colours because we didn't have the shirts. I think we went over in like red and white tracksuits and wore wigs and stuff like that to make sure we stood out. We got treated like absolute kings, to be honest. And there's this guy that says, "Oh, come with us." And so I was like, "Oh, geez, we're going to go somewhere back alley and get, well, best not say what I'm going to say." But I didn't know what was going to happen. And he was like, took us to this back alley pub, and it was full of, Dusseldorf fans. It was absolutely banging. There had drums in there, been horns in there, and making us drink shots, and been getting beer down us. It was a great time, to be honest. It was about 4 or 5 years ago. Absolutely fantastic sort of atmosphere. And then in the game itself, I think they ended up winning, but it was absolutely freezing, frigging cold. So I was lucky I was behind the goal, jumping up and down. His ultra was keeping us warm. And I think afterwards, yeah, it was crazy, sort of getting the metro in and out and stuff like that. And it was them teaching us German songs, us teaching them English songs. It was unreal. So I'd recommend anybody to go do stuff like that and try, not even find one of the biggest teams, try find a smaller team like the Dusseldorf, because they are pretty much a family-orientated club, and they love having people over there to be interested in their club, and it was immense.
So I was going to ask what got you into collecting shirts, but I think you've kind of touched on it in terms of kind of rekindling what you used to own and trashed.
So, yeah. I suppose that's one element of it. I think as a kid, that first shirt you get when you're a kid for like Christmas or birthday time, because it always is that, right? It's dad brings you up and drags you up, shall we say, and drags you up supporting the team that he supports. I mean, not too bad now from a City fan's point of view, because we're doing okay, but previous to that, Jesus Christ, we've had some tough and bleak years. Let's face back in the wilderness of League 2 and League 1, where, I'm not even going to touch upon that, but I think that's when it first probably started. It was just a case of it rolled on, and it's been stuff like that. I think mid-90s, I think that came about, and I think I touched upon this on Feature Friday when I say I featured myself. I didn't like Featured Me from Feature Friday from Shirt Egg's point of view. And I think Bundesliga sort of sucked me in mid-90s and sort of seduced me. And I think Bayern seduced me because they were probably the most prominent at the time, along with other people. But I think kits from that perspective, that jumped out. I mean, I think this is probably the shirt that got me into Bayern. It's not even a 90s shirt. It's that one. So that's 2004, I think, 2005. But again, it's because it was quite easy to get hold of.
Yeah.
It was there. It was in front of me. It was convenient, and I went, I've seen a lot of Bayern, so therefore I like them. And it adds on from stuff like that. Where it's like, I've seen that, so I'm gonna get that. And the obsession's born with, well, I've got one, so shall I get a couple more? And it builds, and you're like, I've now got a whole wardrobe full of Bayern and Cov kits hanging up. And it is, the stuff that's hanging in my wardrobe is primarily it's your Cov stuff, and then everything from a Bayern point of view is next. And there's just a sea of red there because it's all the home shirts with the away shirts. Again, I've done it in seasonal order as well. So I've got everything from newest to oldest moving left to right, and everything's underneath it. People might go, oh, guys, got shirts on these shirts. Mainly because I haven't got enough hangers or space. So everything's there. And I've got all my Umbro stuff, my England tailor-made stuff is there in seasons as well. And it is like that from a Cov perspective, through Bayern, through England. And everything else is stashed away at the moment in a drawer until my renovations are sorted. And that's when the spare room gets changed into into a rail room and everything gets hung up nicely and presented. And I'm looking forward to getting it on a rail probably. And
the man cave is
fall
born.
through it again and see what I've got, because I've got no doubt I forgot about stuff. Right, I've got stuff tucked away. And I'm like, what shirts have I got? And I was like, it's bad because the buying stuff gets off a hanger, and I put that on quite often along with the cough stuff. And there's shirts that I get neglected because at the bottom of the drawer, and I've got to dig back through it. I was like, I'm sure I've got one of those shirts somewhere. I just can't find it.
Yeah, so I have all mine hung up, but it's because we renting a 1-bedroom flat. We're very limited for storage space. And I recently went through, because we're running out of coat hangers, so I went through and I double hung a few things I don't really reach for. Like a few jackets I could put over a shirt. It kind of worked out well, and freed up an ungodly amount of coat hangers. But no, there's a lot that I forget I own, but I have, for the most part, I've got a picture of everything on my camera roll and I also store mine. Instead of putting it in year order, which seems like a pretty decent idea, I put mine in colour. I've colour coordinated mine, so I can easily find what I'm looking for. But we'll delve more into your kits. So I was going to ask if you've got any like theme kits or era of kits, but you've touched on 90s Bundesliga predominantly, and then obviously Carve Bayern mainly.
I suppose some of the newer stuff I've tried, I say tried to get in, I've found that I've got is sort of authenticated MLS shirts I've been getting into recently. So I think I've laid my hands on, I don't know, probably got 12 MLS shirts. I think at the moment, I think we're sitting at probably 2, I'm trying to think, 2 Toronto, Montreal, 1 a Columbus Crew, Minnesota, and bloody hell, it's gone.
Someone else.
Yeah, no, there's another one, Minnesota, Kansas City. I should know Kansas City because I've got family over there, and they're used to trying to send me shit, which is terrible. So, I mean, a big shout out to should we say, at Leaves for sorting out me my Minnesota and my Kansas City one, because he was a godsend, to be honest. Got me sent to him in New York, and he's flying them across the pond from New York to me to save me on the shipping and duty tax, which is hero status in my world, because without getting all of them, like, you just can't get them in this bloody country. You look at everything, you can't get them. So I just fell into MLS, to be honest. I think I saw a couple and managed to get them cheap. There's, I think, a couple that I've got. I'm trying to aim for a couple long sleeves as well, because the long sleeves, clearly you can't get them anymore from buying them, to be honest. They're all short sleeves. So anything past, I think, 2014, I think it was a case of you can't get them. So I half of them have got long sleeves and the other ones are the short sleeves. So that's the MLS theme, I suppose. But again, I try to pick them up for as cheap as possible. I think one of the best ones I've probably picked up is my Columbus Crew one. I got in a switch from Shirt X, which was amazing because I switched out for a Red Star Belgrade shirt, which I bought, and it was too big for me. So I wore it once, well, it's a bit too big, put it away, and somebody says, I'm looking at switching this, but once we're in Eastern European, I was like, boom. So that was really sweet. And then I think the other one I got was one of my Montreal ones, and I think that's from the inaugural season they had that, and that's a long sleeve, and I got it for like 20 quid, and I was like, yeah, snapping up straight away, and that was a Depop special. So people that lament and lambast Depop for being a load of shit, fakes on it, yes, it has.
Yeah.
But if you're patient enough to scroll through and find stuff, you'll find some absolute bangers in there. It's just having the patience to look.
Yeah, some people don't also know what they're selling as well.
It's exactly that for those, right? And I felt a bit cheeky going, I'll get you this one. They're like, yeah, I'll take it. I was like, little punches, yes. Going off like Toto Scalacci, yeah.
So you, I was kind of seems like you're going after more older MLS. I have one MLS shirt I can think of, and it's like a 2016, 2017 Philadelphia Union shirt. And the only reason I bought it is because they were sponsored by Bimbo, and it really made me laugh.
That's a beautiful shirt as well, those shirts. So that's one I've not got Philly Union shirts. So there's plenty of shirts I've not got from an perspective. Trying to fill them out at some point. Ideally, I because I've got quite a few of those now, it's trying to fill that and go, can I get one for every team? And that's the sort of mindset I'll end up being in. I'll end up having mini collections in my collections, if that makes sense. It's like I've got a fair few Roma shirts. I didn't realise about it until I thought about it. I thought, I've probably got 5 Roma shirts, not realised I've probably got 4 or 5 Marseille shirts, and I'm not massively into my international teams. at all, really. Other in England, I don't tend to have them. I think I had an Italy shirt, switched it out for a Bayern shirt during lockdown, which was quality because it was a Bayern shirt that was a grey pretty much at that point. So I was like, get rid of that, get that. I was like, yes, I can't believe I got it. It's an outstanding piece of work and a great switch for me, and the other person seemed happy as well. But I'm just trying to think. That's generally where I am. I think everything else in terms of my collection is just, if I come across something that I really like, I'm going to buy it because simply I can.
Yeah, I'm an adult. I can do what I want. Do you remember what the first shirt was that you got that got you back into collecting, or got you into collecting in general?
So yes, probably was that Bayern one I showed. So yeah. So it's that. I suppose the red and white bird ship one was a kid, right? That kicked it all off. As I said, that one there in terms of that. What made me think more about my Cov ones was probably the one that I picked up during lockdown. I've been searching for a long time because I've been searching for it anyway, and that probably made me think more about my Cov collection because I had some clearly, and I thought I need some more. And I think that just kicked that off, to be honest, in terms of me looking high and low for Cov. And I've not been too successful with my Cov stuff, to be honest. I know there's been other collectors out there of Cov stuff that I see. Some of the lads that I speak to about Cov stuff, they're far more successful than I am at hunting stuff down and finding it. Whether they're willing to pay a bit more, that's different. Whereas I'm like, it's a Cov shirt, yeah, it's nice, but again, am I willing to pay 250 quid for a Cov shirt? No, and I'm just not, and that's the way that life is for me. I can't justify paying that, whereas I can justify paying 40 quid or something, 50 quid, and it all depends. It's circumstances, isn't it? But this one, I suppose, as I say, this one's a little bit special. There we go.
So, it's time. What's the most recent shirt that you bought or own?
Most recent. Yeah. Where do you want to? One of these. I mean, you've got a choice of 3 grey bags and a green bag, so feel free to pick one, dude, and I'll open it. Or I can open all 4 in front of you. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it's down to you. You do how you want it.
I was going to say I'll try to do it in the order that they came, but I've got no idea because I think it's just been sitting in my post box for a little bit. So I'll open this one. I think this one's.
We have a world exclusive.
Ceremoniously opened it. I think this one came the other day and actually featured on Shirt X because I knew I was expecting it, but I hadn't actually got it or opened it. So that's a tailor-made Sweden shirt, right? So
very nice.
That's 2008, I think that one comes from, and that's something that I've been on the lookout for a while for the tailor-made sort of stuff. But I think I found one probably 6 months ago. And it was great, in pristine condition. Then you turned it Yatewards and it had somebody's like personalised name on it on the back, and it was something like Big Ed. And I was like,
something for ruined shirts.
yeah, and it was. I was like, oh Jesus Christ, why would you do that to a shirt? But yeah, that's been on there for a while. So there's chance, and I'm not a massive fan of name sets, right? And I think this is something that people like. So Mike's, again, I'll come back to Mike because it's comparable with buying shirts. Mike's very much an advocate of trying to get weird buyer name sets on his shirts. I say weird, unique for him. Whereas I look at it and think, I don't want them because I'll turn it around and think, he played 3 games and tough, and or he was shit. Why do I want him on the back? And I know, we've had conversations about that. It's like, no, that's what makes him great because nobody else is going to have them. I'm like, well, yeah, I wouldn't want it either though. So
I get his thinking. I very, very nearly bought a Southampton shirt with Ali Dyer on the back, but I think that's because that is just a piece of football history. Yeah,
that's synonymous with that legend that is Ali Dyer. Yeah, I'm sure there's a couple more that float around like that as well. But I remember reading about him every 6 months. I think I'll Google his name just to read the story and just laugh about on Wikipedia how he managed to get in there and actually played like 20 odd minutes of first team football. And then he hit the post in his debut or something like that. He should have scored. It's like he could have scored as well. Could have folklore even more so.
What's the American kid called? Who I think he plays for LA Lights now, but he was like touted to be.
Adu, is it?
Yes, that's it. Yeah,
he's done more time for sponsoring from Domino's Pizza, I think. He did all that. He's been a nightclub ambassador and stuff. I think I followed him once. I think I followed him for about a month. I was like, I can't follow this dick anymore. he was. He's the USA Pele. Yeah, that turned out really well.
Yeah, I was going to say I couldn't remember his name, but I remember at uni he was like this cult icon with someone who he just loved him. And I was like, what?
just I think football managers, people that play football, or champ manager back in the day and stuff like that, used to have, you know, Freddie Adu is this player. It's like saying it was Cherno Samba, you know, stuff like that. It's just, he was the USA Cherno Samba. That's what I'm going to say. As Cherno Samba didn't do as much, clearly, because he didn't play for the international full men's team. And Freddie Adu did at the age of like 15 or something. But what's he achieved? Well, he's probably achieved a lot more than me and you, because he played international football. But realistically,
but we're not laughing stocks.
Yeah. Has he got as many football shirts as us, though? That's the question you need to ask him. We'll find out. Get him on. Get him.
Probably. Hey, Freddie, big fan. I'm going to open mine because it's been sat at the door for about an hour a day, and I
apologise, mate. I have got a couple more, so I'll let you go.
Apologise.
How excited he is. It's like a kid at Christmas.
Oh, it's like Christmas.
The cat that got the cream right there, look.
I've got things. Oh, it could do with a bit of a clean.
Oh, no. But look at that.
It certainly could do with a clean, actually. I'm going to put that on for the rest of the episode.
Even though it could do with the clean, put it on.
I mean, it smells all right. It's the it's just.
I was about to say, is it musty?
No, it's just on the white on here. I can see there's a bit of a splotch. So
what size is that one?
This is a large. I got it on. I touched on 97 vintage earlier. It's a. Hang on,
See, surely it must be absolutely frigging huge, right? Knowing Adidas period like this, stuff like that must be. It must drown you. It drowns you, in my opinion. But I like things tighter, so you know. Look at that. I'm thinking that's a large. If I wore that, it'd still look big on me, and I'm wider than you. And
it's how I like it.
I suppose it's comfy because it doesn't sit tight. It's snug. It does. It's an immense piece of top and gear. Something I'm very jealous of. I just haven't got it in my size. So.
I will certainly be wearing this to work. I try and wear a different football jacket, and someone looks at me and goes, my manager did actually sit me down. She was like, "You need to stop buying shirts." I was like,
I expect when you're back at work and you can walk underneath that underpass, mate, to have that little wrap pose going again with that top on, mate. So I expect to see that.
Yeah, I'll try and get some buying socks
with some special socks on. Yeah.
I did. So the manager who was like, "Oh, you buy too many," because I think her partner does as well. He buys a few shirts, and she's just given birth, and I was very, very close to buying a kit for a kid. I was like,
that's the sort of thing I'd do, to be honest. I mean, again, speaking about kids with kits, I've already got my lad into it. You know, he's a sucker for football kits. I'm trying to think what he got. He's got a fair few Cov kits already. I think since he was born, he's been bought one every year. So he's already amassed six shirts. He's got. I think I'll probably end up getting this season shirts, as well. He's recently developed a love whilst lockdown for being a keeper for some strange reason. He just wants to be in goal. I've been during the lockdown period, and it was nice. I was pinging shots from 15, 20 yards at him and smacking him in the face, and just congratulating him for saving them. To be honest, well done, man. You're saving him in the face. I'm okay. I'm good. I'm glad you're okay. I'm delivering balls at him. I still couldn't score. That's worse for me, right? As a 35-year-old bloke, and I can't score past a 6-year-old. I'm like, great. My days of playing football are past me. But he's into it big style. He's got enough England kits and stuff that's hand-me-downs from nephews that, because everybody's older than him, he's the youngest sort of lad, should we say, in the family. So I think one of my nephews dumped around a load of Barcelona kits a couple of weeks ago for him. A bit too big for him, but he's like, yeah, and he's wearing them like down to his knees, and he's walking around saying, "Who's Neymar? Who's Neymar, Dad?" As well. Who's Neymar? Anyway, shall I open these while I'm out?
Yeah, go ahead. I imagine you belting shots at him. It'll be like, remember when City played away at QPR and Yaya Toure had the shot that went wide and belted that girl in the face and around.
So I managed to pick up this.
Oh, very nice.
That's nice. Didn't cost me an arm and a leg either. So as I said, with my purchases, that was 23 quid.
Very nice.
23 quid for that. So that's probably the most expensive out of my purchases this time. But it's something that from I suppose a Roma perspective, whilst I've got Roma kits, I've probably got a couple that are and not Kappa. So trying to get a Kappa is it's quite big as well. I suppose what else we got? I've got this, which is, again, I suppose this is probably a trend as well. This is a growing trend in my collection, which I forgot about, which is Germany shirts. Again, I've talked about Bundesliga and Bayern. I think I tend to try to collect Germany shirts. This is probably my 6th, I think, now. So obviously, I bought this one because everybody knows what it's synonymous with. That's the defeat to Brazil in this. It's got to be, you've got to go out and buy that and make sure you've got it. If you've not got that, then who are you, to be honest? Let's face facts. I think the last one,
I still need that, and I was actually
one that I liked, and I like the shirts from those periods. No surprise, it's an Adidas shirt. It's a Marseille shirt.
Very nice.
Well, that's itself was another classic. Look at that in terms of the colour of it. The colourways on it great. The sponsor on it good. The badge good. And Adidas top off it always makes it good. But that in general, I don't know how much was that. I think that was 12 quid.
That's all.
So there's bargains to get out there. It just depends how long you want to wait for them. People are too keen in nowadays, I suppose, to jump the gun and go, I'm going to get the shirt straight away. And I think the biggest thing for me, even though I like the Bayern shirts, I think the only shirt that I'll buy brand new, and I've talked about this earlier, is probably the Cobb shirts. Even the Bayern shirts, I don't think buy brand new, because I just think I can pick them up in a season or two's time for a fraction of the cost. I think the only shirt I bought brand new from a Bayern perspective is the sort of the historical one I released last year.
Yeah. I can't remember some anniversary, wasn't it? 100 and
so I think it's 125 year, was it? Something like that.
Yeah, 120 odd.
125 year. I'm terrible now. I've now put me on the spot. I'm thinking I should know this, and I just simply can't remember it.
Around then.
Yeah.
100, yeah, something. So, are there any shirts that you have? You kind of alluded to it with the shirt you're wearing. That you have any fun anecdotes on how you acquired, or
So this one is probably the biggest one, right? And this is probably because this shirt I got from Subside Sport, and everybody's probably thinking, how have you got it from Subside Sport, right? And not paid an arm and a leg for it, and I haven't paid for it at all. So I didn't pay a penny for it, which is the first thing. So this is the fun anecdote. I suppose when you look at it, the shirt itself, I think it came out. So I think somebody tagged me on it. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Mike. It might have been somebody else, and it was up for about 200 quid. And I just looked at it and thought, that's way out of my league. I'm never going to purchase it. I'm never going to get it. I like it, but I commented on it. He goes, "Yeah, it's a great shirt. I love it. It's all my size. Everything I want about a shirt. I'm never going to afford it though, so I'll ditch that one." And the guys from Subside, I think it was Tim that was on the social media. He came into my inbox and just sort of said, it's coming on at this time, it's coming on at this date, if you're interested. I was like, yeah, I am, but I don't think I'll be able to afford it. I said, unless you're interested in swapping something. And I thought, I'm risking it. I'm asking a shop, an online shop, to swap with me, who's Billy No Mate, shall we say, or Joe Blogs from the street. How does he could trust me? And he sort of went, what are you thinking? And I was like, ooh, a nibble. I've got a nibble on this. And I thought, what can I offer? Yeah, that's the problem. What can I offer? And I think the biggest thing on this one, I think a couple of weeks beforehand, I bought a J-League shirt. I bought a San Francisco Hiroshima San Francisco shirt. And I didn't know what I had, to be honest, at the time. I bought it liking the shirt. I thought, that looks great. It looks like a quality shirt. Added bonus, it's got a signature on it, but nobody knew whose signature it was and couldn't vouch for it.
Right.
So I thought, I'll try to buy it, right? And it's probably above my 20 quid region. It was like, 30 odd quid, which for me, I'm like, there's a shirt like that. I was like, I'm making a bit of a risky move buying it, not knowing what I've got. Bought it, and I think, thankfully, there's a couple of J-League people I follow on Twitter, and they're pretty switched on, especially with the San Fran stuff. Banged into their inbox very quickly through the DMs and said, I bought this. Is there any chance you know who signed it? Can you legitimise in any way? And within about 2 seconds of banging back saying, yeah, that's easy to do. That's the Tadanari Lee. This is the guy that used to play for Japan. He won the Asian Gold Cup. He scored the winning goal in the last time we won the Asian Gold Cup. I was like, I'm on to a winner. And he sort of played for Southampton for a bit, so he played in the Premier League. So it's sort of a sought after shirt in a way, and I didn't realise what I had. And I just inboxed him back, so I said, I've got this. I don't know if you're into J-League shirts. And he sort of went, our managing director is big into J-League shirts. goes, can you send us some more photos of it? So I banged a load of photos through, arm patches, everything. It turns out it's like a player issue one. It's probably worth the same amount of price as this, but I only paid a fraction for it. And I just went, I'm going to get nowhere out of it. Yes, I bought it thinking that I'll probably have to move it on and able to buy some more shirts, to be honest. I think that was my plan. And I said, if you're interested and your MD's interested in it, then I'm happy to do a swap, but that's entirely up to you because it's your stock. And I went, yeah, we're up for that. I was like, what? So my head just like exploded. I think straight away I was into DMs of people. Guess what's just happened? Guess. And you know, it's an amazing story really, that I've got hold of a shirt that was a grail for me from the 90s that I'd never able to afford, and I wasn't able to pull the money out to do it because I couldn't justify doing it. So I think that's one good one that I've got, and it's, you know, that's amazing. I think
It's a good story.
yeah, it is really good, isn't it? In terms of that, it's not many people have probably got the balls to offer a swap to a store for a £200 shirt. And I thought, if you don't chance it, you never know. And I thought it's one of those that I like wearing the shirt, but at the same time I was like, I don't want to wreck it. So it's like it comes on, I wear it for minutes, maybe a couple of hours, half a day when the kids aren't around. I won't wear it out of the house, which is a shame. You know, I might wear it for a big COV game at some point for everyone in the future. But other than that, I'm like, this is a grail shirt. It's being tucked away and it's being looked after. It's nothing else happened to it apart from wearing it tonight. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I suppose another one I've got is a Bayern shirt. I haven't got it with me, but I think it's 2014 shirt. So it's the white and orange one that this season's based on. So they've done a throwback to that.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So that one, I got hold of that one in a different way. So it's quite funny because I was looking at an AC Milan shirt. It's a long sleeve one I've got with a big white floppy collar. And I like it, right? People complain about the collar, but I like it. I looked at that and it was going for like £20. And they had the Bayern shirt on, and I was like, oh, I haven't got that. And to get it in the condition it was in, because the sponsor is on that, it's just horrendous. It always rubs off. It peels off, it rubs off, it breaks on every single shirt I've ever seen, apart from probably mine and a few other people that collect Bayern shirts. It just breaks. You'll look at it, you'll find it on the internet, eBay, Depop, and it'll be wrecked, right? And I thought, oh, it's okay. The only problem is a massive stain like here. And I was like, oh, bollocks. Same seller, and I did the same sort of thing. I inboxed him saying, I've really fancied your AC shirt. I'm going to buy that off you 100%. I've noticed you've got a Bayern shirt. It's got a huge stain on it. Do you know what it is? And he went, no, mate. I was like, okay, clearly he doesn't give a shit about this shirt. I went, I'll chuck another £5. I'll take the Bayern shirt off you. And he went, yeah, sound. I thought, winner, because I've got that shirt. It's in great condition. What's the best thing to do with it? It came, and I thought, okay, what can I do with this? And I was straight into Mike, because he tells me, I say he tells me, he's great at getting shirts into pristine nick. Like he is. Mrs. Footy Shirts is great at doing it, and I've had plenty of advice off his missus about how to get my shirts in pristine condition, which is great. And he's like, oh, this. My wife said, buy this, buy that, buy this and the other. And I had like 3 or 4 different products lined up ready to go. And I remember like DMing him in pictures about what's happening. Like, this is the first step. Look at it. Let's see. We're going to go through the wash. I'm going to hand wash it. I'm going to do this with it. And all this shit is like, you know, they're praying to everybody we can pray to, the football gods, that it'll come out. And I think 5-10 minutes later, it's in pristine condition. So I had this shirt that would have cost me probably an arm and a leg to track down in terms of what it is, because it's 40 odd quid everywhere else because the condition of it and that the sponsor. Managed to lift it off, and I'm there like celebrating. I did like a little bit of a jig to myself, and you know, I said that to Mike, because I was like, just done a massive jig, mate, because it's work. Thank you, Mrs. Me. I owe her one, you know. He's like, it's like, that's what she does. So role in this. She's Mrs. Footy Shirts, gets the stains out. Yeah, I think that's another one. I think I'm just trying to think of anything else off the top of my head. I think.
Well, I was going to ask if you had any like steals, but I think you've kind of just covered 2 already.
In terms of steals for me, yeah. I think they're probably the biggest ones I've probably had a steal for, yeah. No, I don't. I've probably had loads that I can probably bring out, but they're not as special as the 2 that I've probably talked about. I think the Bayern shirt that I talked about earlier, I sort of swapped as well with in Shirt X. So that was, I swapped an Italy shirt from, I don't know when it was from. It was a Puma shirt. It wasn't anything special to me. It was just something I picked up and thought, yeah, I liked it at the time, but it's like, it's expendable. We can get rid of that. I'm not bothered about it in the collection. Whereas that one was, you know, it was a 92 Bayern shirt that I hadn't had in my collection. It's now that's equipment one. I'm like, well, wait a minute, there's something special here. it was a small, but I can fit into smalls from that era. So I was like, I'm going to throw it out. I had a load of shirts put on there. So I was like, pick your choose which one you want. And to be honest, the one that he picked, I was like least worried about. I was like, yeah, fine, yeah, great, happy days. I'm throwing that out. You have that one, and if I get that back, and condition-wise, it's not perfect, but nothing's going to be perfect from a 92, really, unless somebody's looked after it and put, a golden wrap around it. So
Yeah.
I think they're probably the three. I think the only other one that I say is a steal, but somebody bought it for me, and it's the missus bought it for me, was a Brazil 2004 World Cup winning shirt. And she bought me that when she was in Brazil.
Oh, wow.
So it's got a little bit of, it's got a little bit of something with it. She was out there doing something. She's out there, don't I say holiday, but she was out there having a gap, I don't know, a couple of months or whatever it was in Brazil, as you do. I don't have a gap a couple of months in Brazil. But she was out there with friends in Brazil doing some bits and pieces, having a good time. And she picked up that, and it was during the World Cup tournament. So she was out there at the World Cup tournament, and thought, well, if they're doing well, I might as well pick. She follows football, but doesn't really care as much as I do about it. Thought I might as well pick up a Brazil shirt then, and she's picked that up. And I thought I'd lost it for a period of time because, again, I took shirts away, not realising where they were. And I think I've got one of those sort of Ottoman beds, and I was checking underneath there for something, and I saw a bit of yellow poking out. And I thought, what's that? Grabbed it, and I was like, oh my God, I found this shirt. And I'm like, in perfect condition. It's been hidden away for the last 5-10 years, probably, underneath a bed somewhere. And I was like, great. I think the only thing that's missing from it is really your name set, and that's one thing that I probably will put on that shirt at some point. You're getting the R9 name set on it, because it'd be ridiculous to have that shirt and not do something with it like that. Right? So,
Yeah. No,
so that's a nice story that it actually means something. It was something that bought for me from Brazilian manufactured. It's a quality shirt, to be honest. I don't wear it as often as I should, but it's nice.
Following on, we've spoken about steals. Let's do the opposite. Is the one I was going to say that you've been ripped off on, but that would insinuate it was a bad shirt. But what is the most that you have parted for a shirt, if you're comfortable saying?
Most, probably 60 quid, I'd say.
Okay.
60 quid on a shirt is probably the most I've ever paid, and it is a 2001 Bayern European, should we say, the Champions League shirt, final shirt that I wore. So it's got the patches on it either side. It's an outstanding shirt. It's in outstanding condition. It's in my size. I wasn't going to let it slip, to be honest. And there was some talk between me and Mike about it, to be honest. So I've gone, have you seen this? And he went, are you going in for it? I went, oh, I don't know. Price. He said, it was up for more as well. I got him down. So I think I got 20 quid off it. I think it was up for 80 and I went down for 60 because I bought the shirt off the guy before. I said, I'm returning because I'm loyal, man. I'm loyal. And used all the shit we did to try to get money off. Yeah, and he sort of went, yeah, I can see that. I can see you had a few from me. So I'll give you 20 quid. And I think that was it. I was like, I said to Mike, it's like, it's in a small, so it fits us both. And I think he's coming, I've spoken to him, I think, recently anyway. I think he's coming on the lookout for one, but he's like, wow, it's important to me, but at the time I had other shirts that I was looking for, and I was like, oh, I'm looking for that one because it's one of the things that I'm missing out on. And I think trying to get that is a big thing for me because it was, it's like, let's get that one because you're not going to find them very often. Whereas other shirts you can tend to track down from buying. So yeah, I think that's probably the most expensive, other than I'm just trying to think newer shirts that I've bought that are COV shirts, but I don't see that as a reason to buy. It's a new shirt, it's going to be pricey, right? Because that's the way they are. An old shirt that's back from 2001 for 60 quid, people might go, yeah, you've done a lot there. Other people pay more. I've seen them for double that. So
I was going to say, you said it was 60. This jacket was 50. So,
it's what you're willing to pay, though, right?
Exactly.
It's subjective to what you want to do. If you're willing to pay out on something like that, I've got no problems with it, right? That's what you want to do. I on the other hand go, can I get it cheaper elsewhere as long as I look? And my thoughts on that genuinely is, if you're willing to wait and have a bit of patience, somebody's going to come along. So it all depends. 60 quid at that point in time. I've not seen one in good as nick for that price since I paid it. So I'm fairly happy with that. And that's all that matters, I suppose. Same with that jacket. I think that's a decent price for that jacket, to be honest. I've not seen them anywhere else that cheap, right? So it's probably a steal on that.
Because I knew that Mike had this, I messaged him and I was like, right, is this legit? And he was like, yeah, it is. So I was like, oh, perfect. It's up for this price. I think it's an absolute steal. And he goes, yeah, I got mine for 6 quid. And I was like, oh, fuck you.
that's there's the stuff like that drives you crazy. And there's the stuff where we'll drop into my messenger, look what I've just had. And it's buying shirts and like that. And it's because of the size of it. I was like, oh. He's like, how much do you think I pay for it? I was just like, I don't know. I just end up putting like a sick emoji. I'm like, you're going to make me sick anyway, mate. So you're going to make me sick. It's like, £3. I'm like, it's like, I paid like 20 quid for that shirt just because I can't find it anywhere. It's like, yeah, no, I found it.
All I have to do is give him a carrier bag.
It's what you're willing to try hunt for and wait for, and some people are more patient than others, and I'm pretty patient, but in some areas I'm not, right? And if something comes up for the right price, I'm going to probably get it because I've waited for it for a period of time, and you can't wait any longer because you might not see it again.
Exactly. That I try and be patient, but I don't. If you can you whittle down your favourite 3, 5, or favourite shirt that you own?
I've got a load here just in case, to be honest. So
it's call upon.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Favourite. So it is so difficult because it's dependent on mood as well.
Yeah.
So I think my favourite can change day in, day out. I think I can look at it and think my favourite Cov shirt, again, from a point of view of how I've got it and what it means, and it's the first shirt that I really remember as a kid, is probably this one, because it is that. I suppose most favourite modern Cov shirt is going to be the one from last season, just because, again, it's synonymous with the Humal shirts from back in the day, and let's face facts, we won the title. I say we won the title. We got given the title from the points per game, which isn't great, but that's, I suppose looking at Cov again, I looked through my collection. I've tried to go Cov, Bayern. I've tried to go something else that's not Bayern or Cov for my shirts. I've got 2 more modern shirts. I've got my favourite long sleeve shirt, my favourite modern shirt, should we say? So this is my secondary favourite Cov shirt.
Ooh.
So Le Coq Sportif. So you're going to have probably a lot of admiration for Le Coq Sportif for the old Man City stuff as well. And Le Coq Sportif, people might actually drill them, but I think Le Coq Sportif are decent. They produce some decent shirts and decent colours.
I really like that
trim
down the
sleeve. Man City shirts, that bright blue Man City shirt, like Le Coq Sportif one, back in the day. Le Coq Sportif trim down here, long sleeve. I don't know if you've got it on long sleeve. Have you got it? You've got it, haven't you?
I've got the one from 2008. I think I've got the one. I got it for my birthday. Well, I paid for it with birthday money because it had it was the year we signed Vincent Kompany, so it had Company 33 on the back. But yeah, so it's like quite a tight round neck. The badge was here.
So Le Coq Sportif for me, like quality shirts back in the day. You look at them, people think dire, but I actually really like them. I thought they're producing decent kits. But I suppose that's one of my favourites. Mainly because that's the one that took me 18 months to find. 18 months to find that shirt. I think I paid 40 quid for it, which isn't too bad for that shirt. It's in decent nick. It's got a few bubbles in places, but again, I think the only thing with it is the back. The back's obviously got that big round surf on it. Where again, I need to name set it. I am going to name set that at some point, and it's one that I go, actually, I want to name set on that because for me as a kid, I suppose, well, I say it's a kid, 90. I think that's like 97, 98. So I was like, what? 12, 13 when that was out. So that reminds me of like the Dublin, the Huckabees, the Whelans, the Boateng eras, everything that was good about the world in the Premiership. We were the entertainers and we were doing, like I said, we were doing great. We were doing great for Cov. And that's all that. And I can just imagine Hooks in that with his like long wavy hair, jinking out at people and then get shooed to shit because people couldn't tackle him. So just take him out. So that's that shit, right? That's one of my faves. And I probably will get Huckabee on the back of that at some point.
97 was a great year for people to be born, though.
Wow.
Wow. And I know Ellis was also born in 97, I think, as well, because he's just turned 23 as well. So
yeah, he's just crazy. Yeah, just young pups. And then again, didn't you say you thought I was mid-20s? So I'll take that. You've knocked 10 years off me, mate. I'm just a young pup really myself. I look it as well. Such a young man. I think from a Bayern shirt, and it might surprise people, it's not a home shirt I've gone for. I've gone for an away shirt.
Audible gasp.
Yeah, audible gasp. Can you guess which one it's going to be? I mean, there's a lot, but can you guess?
I've kind of just spaced on every buying kit now, to be honest. Like, because you put me on the spot. Oh no. Yeah. I can. I'm sorry.
So that one's one of my favourite kit at the moment, right? I love that in terms of the template for it anyway. Absolutely amazing. The fact you've obviously got top and bottom, but the shirt itself, I mean, obviously the crest is a little bit warped, should we say, in terms of it's not as good as it should be, but again, it's in terms of condition, it's absolutely peachy for what it is. But yeah, that's absolutely cool. That's one of my favourite. I'm buying a away shirt. I've not got a home shirt. I just thought, you know what, people probably expect to pull out a home shirt and go, here you go, it's a Bayern shirt. I think everybody expects to pull out a Cov and a Bayern, right? Because that's what I do. but yeah, for an away shirt, that's just amazing. It's nothing like they've had before or after. It's one of its own. It just sits there on its own. It's just a ridiculous colourway. I'd love to see them reproduce something like that modern.
Oh yeah.
I can't see it ever happening. But if Adidas decide to do like a throwback, and I think there's been a few concept kits that have gone out by people. It tweets in the last, 6 months, just when people have been obviously off furloughed and doing stuff, and they're producing great stuff. And there's been an absolute corkers that we've looked at, and there's one very similar to the jacket you're wearing, where it's a bit like that colour. And I'd love them to throw back and do a throwback kit to like sort of 92, 93 Adidas equipment era, stuff like that. It's absolutely amazing.
Some of the Adidas equipment stuff is great.
Yeah. Well, I've got another one as well. So I suppose my favourite one outside of that, that's an old shirt again, it's not Bayern, it's not Cov, is a Casino Salzburg shirt. So we know it's going to be white and purple, right? So
yeah.
So again, it's that bad boy, and this is the more or less the template of dreams, isn't it? That's looking. It's a cracking shirt again. Everything about that is more or less perfect. That was an absolute. To be fair, that was a steal as well. That's something to pay more than 20 quid for. It was up for 65 quid. It was on a buy it now 65 quid or make a daft offer, and I thought, I'll make a daft offer then. Well, I offered 30 quid for it, and he accepted it, and I was like, wow. I've not seen them that cheap ever. So when I did that and he took it, I think I had that and I had a Rapid Vienna shirt off them at the same time, and it came in less than 50 quid for both of them plus delivery, and I was laughing. I laughed to myself. I realise I'm still pulling out shirts here, mate, so I apologise.
I said a top 5, so it's fine.
I think long sleeve shirt, more modern. I say more modern. It's still probably 2014, but it's more modern. It's more recent because I got it in a swap and I like it so much. The Columbus Crew one, so it's obviously the authentic one. It's got a nice patches either arms, but that itself, I underestimated how good this was until I got it right. And it might look like a black shirt, but you've got like the check pattern on it. You can probably just see it catch the light.
I just caught it then. Yeah.
But on, it's an absolutely fantastic shirt in terms of fit and quality and everything like that. And then the colour set and the fact that the Barbasol, sponsor on it as well, yellow. It just makes it's an absolute quality shirt. There's little bits on it, and you just don't realise how good some of these shirts are sometimes. It's just ridiculous. And then whilst I have slated new shirts, this is where I go. Everybody goes, now you look like a twat. That. I bought that, right? So and I didn't buy that brand spanking new either. So I picked that up a couple of months after it was released, and somebody sold it on because it was too small for them.
Oh wow!
They bought a bigger version. Said I just want the money that I sort of paid for it, but I didn't pay a lot for it either. So I think I got it for like 30 quid or something like that, and I was quite happy with that. And I've got that, and I've got the Roma away as well. So I've got the white one as well, because that's the third shirt, and then the Roma away with the white. Yeah. I've got that one as well, and I managed to pick that up as well. So
that's not bad at all.
Yeah. So to be fair, I picked up the lad's got one of these as well, but I paid top dollar for that. He liked it. He's got the full kit. He's got the full kit because he I want that shirt. I want that shirt. And I thought, I'll have a look, and managed to find it, but I found it obviously over in Italy somewhere, and had to get it shipped in, and it cost me an arm and a leg, to be honest. But
so he took his pocket
money.
It's
worth it. He likes it. He's got it's one of those where he likes it. Difference is they've got like the purple shorts for that one. He doesn't know what they are. So he's like, can I wear my bacon shorts for that? I was like, bacon shorts? Like smoky bacon crisps, I think. Kind of bacon shorts.
What they call it? The frazzles. Is that the crisps?
Yeah. That's weird though. So it's like that. But I think that's the modern, my top modern one, followed by everything else top long sleeve. I haven't got an England top out there because I just thought, you know what, I could bore people to death with England and my tailor-made stuff because, that's stuff I love. And I think the amount of times I posted the Taylor Boy photo that I took on, Instagram and translated it over to Twitter, it's probably been posted like 4 or 5 times in the last week with the England games. I'm getting fed up with that. So I thought, I won't get one of those out, but
maybe not. Put it on ice for a bit.
Yeah, that's it. I'll leave them alone because people are fed up with seeing them brochures. Yeah.
So final 2 questions. First one, you kind of also alluded to it earlier, but any shirt heartbreaks, be it an eBay snipe or it arriving and not being as advertised?
Yeah, there's one recently, so literally as recent as last week, and again, because I've got this penchant for Germany shirts as well. I saw Mike's post about his Germany shirts, and I started looking for Germany shirts because I thought, I could do with a few more Germany shirts. And I instantaneously didn't really look at the ones that he had on there. I thought straight away, what was a big tournament that really hooked me again? And other than USA '94, which was big, but England weren't there, and I paid attention to it. It's more like watching Ireland, Italy, and Brazil really at that point in time. 96, Euro 96 obviously is a big one for me as I was a kid. I'd have been 11, 12, and I think looking back at it, I had the England grey shirt. I obviously lost that or wrecked it because that's what I did with shirts because I'm moved to death. But that Germany shirt, I went and looked for that, and I found one, and I was like, oh, I found one, and it wasn't a buy it now price, it wasn't a ridiculous offer, it was just an auction on eBay, and I was like, oh, this is unreal. It had no guide price, starting price, reserve price. It started off at something like £5. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this. Copied all the bits and pieces you can do. Checked how many people were watching it and looking at it. I thought, there's nobody watching this apart from me. There's one person watching it. There's one person bidding for it. I'm gonna win this frigging shirt. And it was going for cheap, and I mean cheap. It was going I think I bid £8-9 for it, plus delivery was going to take it to a tenner.
Yeah.
I thought I'll be safe and up my bids, and I'll up it to 17-18 £, and it ended on a Sunday afternoon, and I was busy that Sunday afternoon. Unfortunately, I didn't have my phone on me. I was out with a lad doing something.
I was busy with the fucking kids and
tell me about it. Story of my life, right? And that sounds really bad. No, not the story of my life. I wasn't busy with the kids. No. Yeah, no. I wasn't busy with the kid. That's not what I do. I was busy with my kid doing something else. Right, let's clear that one up. Right, back to football. That went wrong. Very south, very quickly. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Where was I? So yeah, I think I upped the bid on it, and I think I came back home, picked up the Wi-Fi, and checked the phone fast. I thought, have I got a chance to look at it? Have I got any time? And I'd lost it. I'd lost it by £1, and I'm still gutted to this day. I messaged again. I know again. I talk about Mike's. I messaged him quite a lot. I messaged him straight away. I was like, I feel sick. It's like I've just lost a relative. It's just like I still can't believe I lost it by £1, and I'm still searching for it, but I can't find one for good enough price. I think I found one for a little bit more, but I'm not going to say where I saw it. I'm not going to say how much it is, because if people see it, I'm probably going to lose it again. It's just trying to organise a price that I'm willing to pay for it. So I think that one's absolute heartache of those. That's recent. I think the other one that I got was a Roma Kappa 2013, sort of white one that's got sort of the round neck, the orange and burgundy top to it. And yeah, I let that one slip from my fingers as well. And that one's not really settled either. That was probably 6-7 months ago. And it was cheap as well. It was like £22, and like a dick, I was haggling. I was like, get it down to £20, I'll take it off. I should have just fucking bought it, right? Hindsight is a wonderful thing. And I went back to just go, fuck it, I ain't gonna like it if I just go buy it. And as I went to hit buy, it just disappeared. I was like, oh shit. And it's like when I look back at it, and I'm sure if CFS didn't nick that, I'm sure they did. It's somebody else, because it's when you look back at it, you know what their tag is. You know how many shirts they've sort of roughly bought when you look at it. And there's thousands of shirts bought. I thought, nobody's bought that shirt that's like me or you. That's somebody like them. They've gone out there and sniped me, because they're going to stick a name set on it that they can get officially, and they'll put a price on it, like £140. And fair fucks them to do it, because they can do it, right? And they're bigger than I am. But it's one of those that it annoys me immensely to this day at those two shirts, one recently and one 6 months ago, that's actually heartbreak. Other than that, in terms of snipes, no, I don't think there's anything there that kills me that much. I think there's probably a Bayern shirt that I've lost out on that was only like 12 or 13 quid that annoyed me, because I still haven't got it, but it will come back up. So it's not an issue. The two shirts that I'm talking about there aren't going to be back up at that price unless you do some serious searching for them. So it's a wait and see game for that. Whereas the Bayern shirt, it's probably on my watch list somewhere for £4 or £5 extra, and I might just pay. So
when you're sick of being sniped, he's like, sod it, I'll just pay the amount.
Damn it! I should pay £200 on that shirt. They don't want it.
So it kind of ties in well in terms of only needing a couple more buy-in shirts left. But finally, what's your Holy Grail shirt? One that still
So
eludes you.
there's a few. There's a few, right? So I think I'm gonna have to think about it. So top of the list is probably the Buying Away 93, which is the white. So it's the reverse of the red and white one I was talking about. So a bit like from the area you're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a white one with red
Yeah,
stripes, and 3 red stripes, which you can get, right, but it's extortionately priced everywhere you look for it. Likewise, trying to find it in a small, difficult. I'm sure there's a few people that look for it as well, but I think that's a big one. I think going from buying again, yeah, there is probably 10 or 12 I'm missing. I'm still missing one of the home shirts from a couple of years ago, which I just can't find in good enough condition. Like, I'm not going to buy it when it's wrecked, and I'm not going to buy it just for the sake of it. I need it. I'll wait, and because one will turn up. I think some of the Champions League shirts or third shirts from Bayern are really difficult to track down, to be honest. So there's a burgundy that I want from, I think, 2004. The 99 final kit, which I know Mike's got. You're not going to find that very often. That's a killer. I'd love to get my hands on that. I don't think I will, but unless I pay top dollar. There's a couple dotted around. It tends to be, and I've looked back from my collection. It tends to be black third shirts that I've not got any of. I think I've got one or two, and Bayern had a load of them in a period probably from 2010 onwards, where they just had black shirt for a third shirt, and I've not really got any of them, and they're the ones that I'm missing out on from a Champions League perspective. So I need to try to track them down. I think Cov, if I'm looking at them, anything from when I was a kid that I've not got an adult size anymore, or I suppose the more rare ones, you're looking at the yellow ones, that the 87, 89, 91 shirts that, they're the classics. You're probably not going to find them very, very easily without paying top dollar for. And I think to try and complete some of the Taylor buy, and it's never going to happen. I know I'm never going to get it. It's going to be the England special edition, the Peter Saville one. So whilst most people might have the one that's got the little crosses on the shoulders, this is the one that's got a little cross on all the way through the material, and it's all the way over it. I think I've seen one of them whilst I've been looking for them, and it was in shit nick. And he sort of went, "Oh, I'll have 40 quid for it." I'm sure you will when it's fucked up. It's like, thanks, I'm going to pass on it. And it's one of those, should I have passed on it? I don't know. Yeah, I probably should have done, because I regretted buying it when it was crap. And, it's just trying to find one of those. I don't think I will. There's a couple that I still haven't got from there, I think the goalkeeper shirt I had on the other day looks like the sort of multicoloured one. It's the sort of green and dark green one that's got the crosses on it. I wore that in long sleeve. I'd love that in short sleeve, but trying to find it is an epic adventure. There's stuff there that you're trying to track down. I think I'm being too picky about what I want in some ways. I suppose you've got to be, but if I could find it in long sleeve in some thirds, I'd do it, which I did in the end. I was like, I'll buy it for long sleeve, and I bought it off somebody I knew. So happy days. It's like, I know you want this. I'm getting rid of it. Do you want it at a decent price? I was like, yes. It's like, thanks for that. That will do me nicely. So yeah, big shout out to that person if they watch this, because they might do. Yeah, I think they're the ones. There's quite a lot there, right? But there's some means to go for them. So trying to complete bits and pieces.
I'm not going to say my Holy Grail shirt, because, as I said, it's available on Classic Football Shirts at the moment, and I don't want anyone to snipe it. So, which I do. It's been up for about a month, and I do keep checking back, and I was like, yeah, it's still there. It's good.
I'm gonna go check, because it's gonna be a Man City shirt. Right? I'm gonna have a look. I'll buy it and I'll hike the price up, and I'll be like,
triple the price.
To me,
chuck on 2 more zeros. I
wouldn't do that, to be honest. If I knew somebody's interested in shit, and it's one of those things. That's why I speak to people about shirts. So I know there's a couple of people interested in shirts, and they're really wanting it. And I'm not a complete tool, to be honest. If there's a shirt that we're going to argue over, I'll be like, look, why still want it? If you want it more, then crack on, have it. And I think there's been an occasion like that with Mike. I've gone, oh, there's a shirt there that I like. Are you going for it? And he's like, no, go for it. So if you are, then your shirt collections. I think that's the relationship me and Mike have. It's a case of going, oh, if you fancy having it, crack it, because I'd rather you complete stuff that you need rather than me taking it away from you just because I've got it. And it's, I think that goes back to that 2001 European shirt. Talked about that Bayern one. Decency to speak to him, saying, I've seen this, are you up for it? Because if you are, go for it, because if not, then I might take it. So it depends if you've got that relationship with people. If not, then it's all for one and sniping each other, and it's a little bit shitty, but it's good that I've got
It's
It's
not
going to have got a
you.
few people like yourself, Mike, Pedro, there's a fair few, 4 or 5 of us, Chris from Kitastic as well. I'll speak to 4 or 5 people regularly about stuff, and we'll have a good chat about shirts. And it's nice to have that, to be honest, because then you've got the people that look out for stuff and go, oh yeah, I'll look out for that for you. Because I know there's people come into my inbox and I know you look for that, and that Cov shirt's a prime example, because there's 2 or 3 people that came into me and I've seen this, I know you're looking for it, get on it, it's there. And I was like, so it's not a case of me finding it. I think that's one of the great things about this sort of little community we've got. It's people do tend to look after each other and try to help each other out. And unless you're trying to win competitions, which Rob Fletcher has knocked down to the limits, nobody's ever going to win anything. So
not what Rob's about, no. So that is all my questions. So thank you very much for joining me.
No problem.
If anyone would like to find you on Twitter, I will put your Twitter at both underneath your name, and it'll be the top link in the description. So do go give him a follow, and I'll put your Instagram in there as well, so people can see you filling out your shirts like a boss. But as I say, thank you very much for also the live exclusive of unpackaging your new shirts on. That was a thrill. So many firsts going on. Yeah, earlier today, my first giveaway, which I have nothing to do with, and today a live unpackaging. I got to get involved too. I'm going to get rid of this label in a sec. But yes, so thank you very much for joining me, and watchers and listeners, thank you very much. Like, subscribe, whatever, all that good stuff. I don't say that enough. I keep forgetting to do an outro. So what happens in the last few episodes is it's like, oh yeah, so what do you think of this shirt? Oh yeah, it's cool. End. So I need to start getting into the swing of things. I think let's just have a quick check. I've got 41 YouTube subscribers. That's pretty cool. Let's try and get more. Why not? I do want to do more on YouTube, but lockdown isn't helping. But thank you for listening, everyone. Yes, ta-ta. Bye-bye.